lose the whole class. And it was nuts because the Wi-Fi or whatever it's called, internet was being so stressed from all of us being at home, you
Right.
know, so I don't get that much. Sometimes I'll see a message that says the signal is weak, but last year it was nuts and I didn't know, you know, I just felt like it, like, not that it was my fault, but like, I don't even know how to correct that. What do I do other than
Right.
wait? And so I'd have these little internal freakouts, right? And I'm like, so anyhow, I know one class, I was subbing for someone and that happened and I had to text her. She was on the class anyway. I don't know why she had me subbing when she was there, but all right, she paid me, so it's
Right.
all good. But I texted her, I said, you have to take over now because I can't get back into Zoom. So it was a hot mess. Now I don't react so emotionally. I just let, you know, just
Right.
try a couple of things I know to do. And then if that doesn't work, see you next time.
Right.
But I'm ready whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well, as soon as you hear the recording start, in progress. 1 second.
Thank you. Good morning, Uma family. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. My name is DeJur, and I am the primary or principal for DeJur Jones Yoga Therapeutics. And we're going to do a hybrid class. We're going to do some of it seated, so grab a chair while I talk, and then we'll do some on the mat. So behind my chair is my yoga mat. I'm going to have to readjust it a little bit when we switch over, but I want to talk a little bit about chair yoga before we start. So initially, chair yoga was for people that were in some way had a disability or perhaps an amputation or two. And so it was created to give them, this was a long time ago in Southeast Asia and India, gave them opportunities to do yoga in their particular condition that they were in or challenge that they were in. And then eventually chair yoga evolved into the workplace. So for some corporations, they hire yoga teachers and yoga therapists to come in and teach yoga to their staff in chairs to show their staff how to do yoga throughout their workday. Many people, you know, have very long work days sitting at a desk and chair, perhaps attached to a phone line, doing their work. And so a lot of employers got smart and brought in people to teach their staff how to do chair yoga, or desk yoga, it's sometimes called. And also a lot of corporations also have regular mat yoga classes as a part of their wellness program, wellness in the workplace or employee wellness. And so that's kind of how chair yoga came to be more mainstream. It is, a lot of people assume that chair yoga is for older people, and that it cannot be less true. A lot of schools teach desk yoga, right in the classroom. They do, you know, every hour they do a little stretch break and do some stuff right in their desk. So it's not for old people. And I say, I have a hashtag that chair yoga is yoga, okay? And sometimes we don't feel like getting down on the floor. Some of us have difficulty getting up from the floor. So instead of getting down there and getting stressed out or distressed, having a challenge getting back up onto standing, just do it in a chair. It's all the same stretches. I want to give you some suggestions. So if your chair is let's see, if you have shorter legs, if you have longer legs, and your knees are kind of at a sharp angle, then you put a blanket or a towel underneath you to lift your torso up away from the floor so that you are comfortable. We don't want the feet and knees jammed down. If you have where your feet are not touching the floor, you put the blanket or the towel under your feet to bring the floor up to you. Okay, so we adapt the yoga to us. We work with the body we have now. Today, we're not wishing for, am 5 years younger, when I, lose X amount and all this other stuff, we're working with what's present with us. So this is how you accommodate your body by using household items. This is a yoga prop. You can also use 2 of these if you happen to own these under your feet to bring the floor up. If you don't have blocks, which most people don't, you can use a stack of books. So here's a stack of my yoga books. You can use 1 stack or 2 separate stacks, one for each foot. And so again, bringing the floor up to your height. You can also sit on the books if you need to extend yourself up and away from the floor because you're of the taller height. Okay, so those are household items. I forgot to bring my yoga strap. But a yoga strap is a thing that we could use to put around and hold on, help us to access different poses. We don't have a yoga strap at home, and many of us, why would we? This is just a quick example. This is my fanny pack. So if I had a scarf or a belt, I could use to adapt the shapes to help me get a deeper stretch. And so this is basically what the yoga strap looks like, except it's 6 to 10 feet long. So you can do different things with this, but any belt, any scarf, any men's tie does the same thing. So this is another way to adapt from having to feel like you need to run out and buy equipment for yoga. You don't have to buy a thing. All right, that's that talk. I want to just touch on really quickly our keeping ourselves safe in our yoga class. And what I mean by safe is if you have any injuries that you're aware of or soreness, and I ask you to do a certain thing and you know that's going to hurt you because you've done it before, in another way you've done something and you had a twinge or an ouch, that's your body telling you that shape or pose is too much. You can try to do it in an experimental way, maybe not full out, but just do it a little bit and see, looking for the front edge of any discomfort and staying out of the pain region. When your body has pain, it's saying, stop, it's too much, whatever it is. Okay, so we don't ever want to move in pain, especially in yoga, but in any movement class or exercise class, pain should not be a part of that. I don't care what they say, no pain, no gain. Pain is a warning sign from your body. Now you might have discomfort, that's to be expected. We're stretching our body in ways it may not be used to and accustomed to being stretched, and eventually that discomfort goes away because the muscles get longer. So being mindful of anything I ask you to do, make sure it does not cause you any pain. But push yourself a little bit. So my arm is my example. It was broken, like up here with a surgery to put a rod and some pins. The teacher says, bring your arms back behind you. That does not feel the greatest on the right arm, so I bring it up a little bit, and that feels fine. And so I adjust my body to not, bring any pain or any discomfort. This can't be re-injured by stretching like this, but it just doesn't feel great, so why do it? And then my other things are, if you need a water break, please have some water. If you need a bio break, please, or if you need a rest break, just stop and take a few breaths and then continue on with us. So we'll get started now with the grounding process. Grounding just means we're bringing our attention and awareness into the space we're in. We're kind of leaving all our other stuff outside the room because it definitely will be there waiting for us. And just bringing ourselves into the moment. So please sit feet flat like mine, and you can bring your feet together or not together. You can pick what's comfortable. For me to sit like this, it's a distraction because I have to hold my legs together. So I prefer to just let them be and just separate them a little bit, and then I don't have to have any focus of that part of me right now. Hands, I'm gonna give you some hand options. Flat, palms down on your knees or thighs, or palms up. Palms down is a grounding mudra. Mudra is hand yoga. A mudra is hand yoga. And the palms down is if you feel like you need a little more grounding. Palms up is a receptive mudra. And mudras you've seen on religious statues, the peace sign is a mudra. We've seen, various ways that our statues, our icons around different churches and, out in public, have their hand placement. Those are all mudras. Even if the statue is not of a yoga person or yoga being, hand yoga is mudras. And so we'll start with some suggestions. You can place your hands any way you like. You can put them on both hands over your belly. This is a very self-soothing placement of your hands. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed or stressed out or upset, you hang onto your belly, and that can give you the sensation of a grounding or your nervous system coming back to more stable area in your, instead of it being up and down, it's more neutral. You leave the left hand over the belly button, place your right hand over your heart if you like to try that. Noticing the heartbeat with the right hand. Left hand over right hand, pressing inward to notice the heartbeat. You can do prayer hands. So find a place for your hands. You get to pick, yogi's choice, and we'll just sit with that for a few breaths. We are breathing through our nose. And so these grounding practices you can use anywhere you show up, especially to places that might cause you some anxiety. And I use, my example is my income tax preparer. He's a nice guy, but whenever I leave his office, I owe money to somebody. So that part is a little stressful. But anyway, just noticing the breath. Then I want you to have an awareness of the floor or whatever's under your feet. So noticing the contact that your feet are making with the floor, whether it be wood or cement or grass, pavement or asphalt, carpet, whatever it is, just notice the connection between your feet and that surface. Then we move on to our sense of hearing. It's just listening for sounds inside your place or the room you're in. I have 2 cats roaming around, and sometimes I hear them, they're in the back right now, bumping around and doing whatever they do. I have a fountain I can hear, it's over here. We'll move our attention to the sounds outside. So examples, cars or trucks or the gardener or wind in the trees or birds or voices or children laughing. Right now, it's quiet where I am outside right now. We move our attention to our sense of sight. I want you to have a look around your space. You've seen it a million times. I want you to look at it this time with new eyes or fresh eyes. So just noticing all the things in your space, in the room you're in, noticing the colors, the textures, noticing that. Noticing artwork or plants if you have. The furniture, the different types of furniture in your room. And then we come back to stillness and noticing any tastes in your mouth. So I just brushed my teeth, so I taste mint toothpaste. You may have had coffee. I did take some water too. I don't taste that, but I did not have coffee yet. And so that would be a taste, or breakfast. Did have some fruit earlier. I don't taste that now, but whatever taste that you have in your mouth, just notice that. Now direct your attention onto your breath. So again, I mentioned we're breathing through our nose. We are breathing long, full, deep inhales. So full that your belly or your torso, rather, the front torso pops out, and that means your lungs are full. So big inhales. And then let all the air out. So the chest lowers, the torso goes back to neutral. So this focused breathing helps us to regulate our nervous system. So again, if you're feeling stressed or upset or happy or triggered and activated or whatever, you can use your breath to help you to neutralize your nervous system. Okay, so you're focusing on the inhales and then the exhales. I use this breath throughout the day, not all day. I don't breathe like this all day, but when things annoy me, or traffic, or particularly those things I cannot control, I check in with my breath and I breathe like this, and it does help to settle my nervous system. Of course, the traffic is still there. Of course, I cannot control that, but I can help to regulate myself and how I respond to that traffic. So we'll sit with just a few more breaths and then we'll move on. And see if you notice, if you feel any different from just that short amount of focused breathing we've been doing. You might feel the same. I meant to talk about this earlier. So I will be asking you to notice and have an awareness of different things we're doing, or different like target areas, or what they're called. Sometimes you may not feel anything in those places, but it's a way to help keep our attention on what we're doing. Because in yoga, it's really easy to float away and start daydreaming. There's a thing in yoga called monkey mind. We have that too. And that means our minds are just on chatter all day long unless we're sleeping. And so focusing on the breath helps us to focus our attention on what we're doing. So there's a couple of reasons I say notice. One is keeping our attention on what we're doing. Number two is calling out a target area. If I say notice, if you feel anything on your right side rib cage, that'll be directing your attention to the stretch that we're doing, and the target area and where the stretch may or may not happen. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So come forward in your seat, just a touch. I want you sitting up straight on your own. Pull your belly button in, and your feet again are flat and 10 toes facing the same way, okay? Bring your hands to prayer hands. This is mudra called Anjali Mudra in Sanskrit, Anjali Mudra. You're gonna sweep out and up. So lift the arms all the way up overhead, palms touch, and really lift the fingertips up. So we're not doing a half ASS way of doing this. We're really putting some energy and effort into what we're doing. So sitting up tall, reaching up, spine is lifted upward, palms touch, exhale down. We'll do 4 more. Sweep out, inhale, come up, palms touch, exhale down. This is number 3. Reach out, breathe in, sit up tall. Exhale down. Sweep out, this is number 2. Inhale up, palms touch, arms are straight, elbows pull back near your ears, and then exhale down. And then here is number 1. I want you to hold here. So palms touch, or you can interlace your fingers, your choice. If your hands are interlaced, knuckles upward toward the sky. Sit up tall, pull in your belly button to activate your abs, your abdominal muscles, which are here. Those help with stability. So you can pull those in and just hold here. Stretching upward. So this stretch is lifting the rib cage upward, especially the side rib cage, the muscles there, and getting them to separate from a little, not away from the bone, but the pair of bones and the muscle in between. We're making space there. Those muscles are called intercostal muscles. For you meat eaters out in the world, these are when we order ribs, pork or beef ribs. This is the part of these are what those muscles are called on the animal. So they're intercostal muscles. They're muscles that are between each pair of ribs. So hold here. And then exhale to your right. So arms are straight. The left shoulder is going to want to cave down. We pull it back. We're doing a side stretch. So you may feel a stretch on the left side of you. We are leaning to our right. Inhale, come up. Exhale to your right and pull the right shoulder back. See if you feel a stretch around the right shoulder blade. You might. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Left shoulder stays back. Check out the left shoulder blade. Inhale to center, exhale to your left. Right shoulder pulls back. Inhale to center. This is the last one. Exhale to the right. And then inhale to center. We're going to swan dive the arms. I want you to notice how your arms feel as they come down. So that feeling is the muscles that they're rebounding to their normal position. Let's sit back in our chair for just a couple breaths. Hands anywhere that's comfortable for you right now. Just notice any sensations around the side body and your arms. And that is the yoga of what we just did with those just very simple stretches. We don't have to do a lot. We can do a little bit and get great results. Fingertips on top of your shoulders, elbows are, bottom of the arm is parallel to the floor. So we don't want the arms just thoughtlessly dangling down. We want to turn on the muscles in the arms and lift the elbows. So just hold here, sit away from the back of your chair. Take some breaths. Drop your shoulders. Relax your jaw. We're going to just do, I don't know the official name of this, but sprinklers, like water sprinkler outside. And we want to move the breath while we're doing this. Feet are flat, 10 toes pointing in the same direction. Moving the breath. So these are good for the side rib cage again, and also there's muscles that run on the diagonal around the rib cage as well. And this is bringing them in with this twisting. So breathing and moving. Just popped my back a little bit in a good way. And then come back to the center. Tip the right elbow down, lift the left elbow up. So hold here, that's an exhale. Inhale to center, opposite left elbow drops, right elbow up. Inhale, change, exhale when you get there. Inhale, exhale to the left, right arm, right elbow up. We'll do 2 more sets here. Set number 2. Exhale when you come down. Inhale, left elbow down, right elbow up. And then here comes set number 1. Exhale down. And then inhale to center, exhaling the left elbow down. And we'll come back to neutral. Shake out your arms, see how they feel. Let's shake out our feet too, our legs. Bring the left ankle to the right knee. So it looks sort of like a number 4. Left palm of the hand presses down on the inside of the left knee. We're not jamming. We are just applying gentle pressure. This is a hip opener. That's what's happening here. So hip opener for the left hip. See what you feel. We're going to compare left and right hips. So have an awareness of how this pressing down for the left side of you, left hip feels. Try to drop the shoulders both down. Just gentle pressure, breathing through the nose. We're sitting up tall. We're not leaning back on our chairs. So sit upright, make your spine work. And then we're going to exhale forward, fold. Two options. So let the arms just dangle down. So this is a deeper stretch. If you let the hands dangle near the floor. You can also use your inside of your left leg as a shelf to place your forearms. If you want to do that. So this forward bend is not as deep. So you won't get as much stretch in the low back, but it might be more comfortable for your spine. If you come all the way down, that's a deeper stretch. And we have a lot of us have back issues in the low part of our back. This part, it's called the lumbar spine. It's the lower curve of the spine. We have an upper curve. And then this is the cervical curve, and then we have the lumbar curve. So this area takes a lot of abuse. And what I mean by that is we sit like this a lot. The chairs we sit on do not have great support. When we stand, we don't stand as upright as we can. And so it puts a lot of pressure on that part of our back. And so these forward bends in yoga help to alleviate that pressure. They separate the bones from the muscle a little bit back there to bring some space between both sets of vertebrae. And then the spongy discs are between each set of bones. They get rehydrated when they get moved around. They can dry out. So that's the yoga therapy of all of this regarding forward bending. There's a whole series of forward bending shapes in yoga, and that always lets me know that it's important to do forward bending whenever there's a series like of hip openers or shoulder stretches and all that. It means that those are areas that we need to continuously work on to make it a practice to work on keeping our low spine as healthy as we can. Sometimes we do need a chiropractor. Sometimes we may need surgery, but the basic steps first is to just try some gentle stretching to see if that helps. So we're still holding here. I have you hold these shapes for not a minute, but for a while, so that, because sometimes initially the muscles are struggling, like, why are we doing this? What is she doing? Then they release. And that's the part I'm trying to get to. So again, using the inside left leg as a shelf or let the arms hang down, your choice, looking down at the right foot. See what you feel. I feel some stuff going on the outside of my left thigh, a stretch, actually, not some stuff. And so hold here and then inhale, lift, sit up really tall, arms up, fingertips toward the sky. Exhale forward, we'll do 3 more. So that was number 4. Here's number 3, sit up tall, reach. Exhale down. Here's number 2, lift and stretch up. Exhale down. 1 more, inhale, lift. Exhale forward. And then inhale up, place the left foot on the floor. Compare the difference in sensations, left and right leg. See if you notice any difference. We'll change sides. So right ankle, left knee. We'll first press down. Right palm on the inside of the right knee. On my right hip is much tighter than my left. So see if you notice any difference. It might be equally the same. You might not feel anything actually, but just see what's true for you. Press down, breathe in, drop shoulders, check your jaw and facial muscles. We want a neutral face. And then we're going to slip forward, arms either all the way down, fingers toward the floor, or you can use your inside of your right leg as a shelf for your forearms. Just hold here, looking down at the left foot, breathing through your nose. Smooth and easy breath. Up for 4. Here's number 4, sit up tall, inhale. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. This is number 2, exhale. And then here's number 1. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, down. And then inhale, upright. Place the right foot on the floor and see how things feel. So let's take a little break. We're going to transition onto the mat. So just take a couple breaths here. And then I'm going to move this big chair. I should say heavy chair, not really that big. Move this. If you want to transition down to your yoga mat. Let's see what's happening in the shot. Okay. So we'll start sitting wide leg. So I want you to separate your feet, not to the pain point, but to the front edge of any feedback that you have. So if I go like 1 inch more on both legs, I will be in like not even discomfort, it'll be painful. So I'm not going there, but where I am, I feel a stretch happening on the inner hamstring. So find your spot right in front of the feedback, and the feedback is the muscle saying, hey, I see you, I hear you. One more movement outward and I would be in discomfort, and beyond discomfort, it would be painful. So I don't want to be there. Toes are pointing up, flexed feet are turning on all the muscles in your legs. So turn your toes upward and flex your feet. So the muscles engage. You can try that out for yourself. You're going to feel around. We're going to leave the feet just like that. And we're going to exhale and come forward. So hands are flat and fingers are spread. And you come as far forward as you can. So it can be very vertical for beginners. You can come out more if your muscles are warmed up enough. Some of you may have access to 4 arms. Go for it. It's all the same. This is a forward bend. So this again is getting a lumbar curve, a stretch in the low back. Take some breaths. Looking actually down toward the mat. So the neck is smooth and long. The back of the neck, I should say, is smooth and long. And just hold here and see what you feel on the inside of the hamstrings that run on the inside of the legs. Let's walk hands to the left, one hand on either side of the left leg. Turn your torso. So this is a spinal twist. Looking down at the left knee. So again, back of the neck is long. Smooth breath. So twisting toward the left, you may feel a deeper stretch on the inside of the right hamstring. Hold here. Inhale, both arms up. We're twisting now to the right. Exhale down. One hand on either side. Turn your torso towards your right thigh. And hold here, look down towards your right knee. Lower the right forearm near the floor, or you can put the right forearm on top of your shin, or you can bring your right forearm in front of on the inside of your right leg. So you find the most comfortable or therapeutic positioning of your right arm. I'm going to lift the left arm up and all the way over. So the left arm is straight. The left arm is near the left ear, and the left shoulder is pulled back. So you can look up, which is the traditional way we would look for this, but we want to make this class is an accessible class. So to make it accessible for you, you might feel better around your neck if you look straight out horizontally, or you may not feel more therapeutically, benefiting therapeutically looking down toward the floor. So you can pick out which one feels the best. And then we'll come up. And of course, someone just sent me a text. I don't know if it's blocking the view, but we'll go to the other side. I'll fix my phone. The left forearm either outside the left leg, on top of the left shin, or in front of the left leg. And then the right arm comes up and all the way over. And hold there. So the right arm is straight. Right shoulder pulled back. And we'll hold here. So nice side stretch. And then inhale, come up and then lower the arms. Right leg straight out. So right leg is straight out from the hip socket. We'll bring up, we did this a little bit differently in the chair, but the left ankle above the right knee or below the right knee, but not on the right knee. So you pick the placement of that. Right foot is flexed. We're gonna just exhale and go forward. Hands anywhere. One hand on either side of the right leg. So if you want, you can leave them by the calf. If you want to bring them down toward the ankle, you may have access to wrap around the right foot, your fingers or hands around the right foot. Look down at the right knee. So this shape is bringing in a stretch to the back of the legs. The calf muscles getting stretched, the back of the knees, the muscles back there, and the hamstrings, the back of the thighs. So looking down toward the right knee. Hold on. We're getting a stretch on the low back by leaning forward, and we're getting a nice hip opener with the crossing of the left leg. So hold here, look down. Take one more breath here. And then walk yourself upright, extend the left leg out and see if you feel any different. It feels longer to me, but it's not. It's just that the muscles were stretched. So we change right ankle, left knee. Left leg is directly straight out from the left hip. Left toes up, flex that left ankle, left foot. And then we exhale and walk forward again. And compare the sides. Does the back of this leg feel more tight or challenged than the right leg felt? Does the left hip feel looser than the right? Does it all feel the same? Does your low back feel a little looser? We've done a couple of forward bends. How does that feel since we started? Do you notice any difference? You may not feel any different, and that is also fine. Look down toward the left knee, breathe through your nose. And then inhale, come up. We're going to table pose. And I want to show you some things if your knees are sensitive. So we already talked about the blanket under the to sit on or under our feet. So you can always put a blanket out on your mat. I'm going to turn my mat the other way. You can put a towel under your knees. This is if you have sensitive knees. And then the other thing you can do without needing another thing is just fold your mat in a just like this to make space for your knees. So that triples the cushioning of your yoga mat, okay? And then your knees go there. So if you have sensitive knees, there are some suggestions there for you. So this is table. Hips and knees are in a vertical line. Arms are in a vertical line. Shoulder, elbow, wrists are in a vertical line. If your wrists are sensitive, slide your hands away from your knees just a little bit. That might help take the pressure off. Hands are hands are flat and fingers are spread wide. And we're on the tops of the feet, but you can also experiment with curling the toes. This is an excellent stretch for your feet, especially if you stand a lot at work. Stretching your feet, and at some point you might be able to sit on them like this. This took me a long time. I used to hate this, but I got over it eventually because I stretched out the muscles in my feet. But this is very therapeutic if you have sore feet. Stretches out the muscles and opens up the bones a little bit. And so curling the toes, you can experiment with that. So we'll do cat-cow, drop your belly toward the mat. So my back is arched and I'm just gonna hang here. My chest is lifted, I'm pushing into the floor. Okay, so my arms, by pushing into the floor, my arms, the muscles in my arms are turned off. So just hold here and take some breath. The chin is lifted a little bit. We don't want to crimp the neck. So just lift the chin, and lift your chest a lot and the chin a little. This is the cow of the cat-cow. We can also do these in a chair. I should have showed you these before we moved our chair, but this is the traditional cat-cow, but we can adapt it to chair yoga as well. Let's round the spine, lift the spine up, exhale, bring your chin to your chest, pushing into the mat. We're gonna hold here and take a few breaths. Okay, so this is the cat. Think of a scary cat or a Halloween cat, pushing with our hands into the ground, lifting the spine. That's the exhale, and the chin is near the chest. Let's reverse that. Inhale. Drop the belly toward the mat, lift your chest, chin lifts a little, hold here and keep breathing. So the holding of these shapes allows the muscles to fight, struggle, and then release. Okay, so hold here. This cat-cow is excellent for when you first step out of bed. Just drop onto the floor. You can do it in the bed too, but it's kind of squishy. Just drop onto the floor and do about 10 of these, and get your spine moving from, after being in a sleep position all night. Here we go with cat, exhale, spine lifts, chin to chest. Then we'll do it in real time. This is the real time version of this. We're linking the breath and the motion. So inhale, lift, arch your back, exhale, curl your back. Spine up, chin to chest. Inhale, lift, exhale, curl. Inhale, lift. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lift, pushing with the hands. Exhale, curl. We'll do one more set. Inhale, lift. And exhale, curl. And then hold in neutral. Come back to neutral spine. Let's do some hip circles. Either direction, your call. And see how your hips feel as you go around. We're going to go both ways. So do a few one way. And then you can reverse and do a few the other way. Breathing as you go around, move the breath. And then we're gonna rock the hips side to side. So on our knees, just rocking side to side, really getting a nice stretch when we go left or right. Breathing through your nose, check your jaw. And then come back to center, cat balance. So these all can be, as you see, these are all linked to the same setup. We started in table. Exhale the left toes back behind you. And bring the right fingers on the floor in front of you, thumb up. Okay, you can stay here. This is a balance pose, cat balance. Some teachers call it bird dog. But hold here, or you can lift everything up and hold there. And so the left foot is flexed. You're leading with the left heel and you're leading with the fingers, the right fingertips. Pull in your belly button to have some stability in the abdominal muscles. Hold and breathe. And then lower right hand, lower left knee. And see how things feel when the muscles rebound back. You can kind of notice that muscle, that sensation of things going back to their natural positioning. Out with the right toes or lift the right foot. Out with the left fingers or lift the right arm. Left thumb is up. Push down with the right hand and turn on, pull in your belly button and hold here. And then exhale down, right knee comes down. And we're going to, let's see, come back to seated. Let's sit for just a couple breaths. Do a body scan of how things feel. So those balance poses in yoga are said to keep us balanced when we're out in the world. That's the the symbolicness of yoga balances. So we did basically consider that a prone balance, meaning prone, we're facing the floor. There are standing balances as well, you can do in yoga. So we'll circle the hips here. So cross legs seated, you can push your feet away from your torso. See how that feels. You might feel more comfortable with your feet up near your torso, closer to your torso. And the only way to know that is to try them both. Circle and breathe. Exhaling when you come forward and inhaling when you come upright. You can also do these with legs straight. It's a little more challenging. The toes would stay up. You can do these if cross-legged is too much on your knees, you can straighten your legs and keep the toes up because that keeps the muscles of the legs engaged. So circling, breathing. Let's reverse that. Breathing when you come, exhaling when you come forward, inhaling when you come back. Couple more, toes up. And then we're gonna hold here. Right hand out, straight out from your shoulder. So we don't want the hand behind us where it crimps the shoulder joint. We don't want the hand in front of us where we're leaning back and sideways. We want the arm straight out from the right shoulder joint, right hand out on the mat, leaning over to the right. Want to make sure the left buttock stays glued to the floor, to the mat. If you lift off, it's not a stretch. You've lost the stretch if your left buttock comes up. So keep that planted, bring the left arm up and over, and just hold here. Toes are flexed up, feet are flexed up. Left shoulder is pulled back. And cross my legs so you can see what that looks like. From here, let's circle the left arm, big or small circles, your choice. Big or small, you pick. And then reverse the circle. And then inhale, both arms up, sit up really tall. If your legs are crossed, put the other leg in front or on top. And then we will lower the left hand, again, right straight out from the left shoulder. So we're just leaning sideways. We're not leaning forward, we're not leaning backward. Pull in your belly button, lift the right arm up and over, and hold there and breathe through your nose. I lost my place again. This keeps happening to me. Smooth breath. Circling right arm. And reversing the circle of the right arm. And then come back to center. We're gonna get on our backs here. So feet are flat and separated to your comfort. Knees are bent. We're just gonna lay back and come into a version of corpse pose. So corpse pose is two definitions. Corpse pose is this pose, and it literally means just letting go of everything as if you're a corpse and just laying out. It's also Shavasana in Sanskrit is the name of this pose, Shavasana. Shavasana is also the final resting period of a yoga class. So Shavasana has a dual definition. So we're here. So for some of us, laying flat out is too much. It's just not comfortable for a couple reasons. One, it could be your low back is tight. So if that's your case, just bend your knees, separate your feet, and let your knees fall together. And that takes pressure off the low back. But for many of us, this is a very vulnerable position, and it's just not the jam. So we bring ourselves to side corpse or sides of Shavasana, bending the knees, turning onto your favorite side. It doesn't matter what side.
and using the bottom arm as a pillow, okay? So it's a resting pose, Shavasana's final rest or resting pose. And we just hold here for just a couple breaths. So Shavasana or corpse pose is one of the 4 resting poses in yoga. And then come back onto your back. Extend the left leg out. Bring the right knee to chest. Interlace your hands around your right knee or your right shin. And pull the right knee towards your chest gently. We're not forcing it. Left toes pointing up. So the left foot is flexed. Then extend the right foot up. Move the hands to the back of the right thigh. So both my feet are flexed now. Exhale, lift your head towards your right knee. Inhale down, we'll do 2 more. Exhale, lift the head toward the right knee. Both feet are flexed. Inhale down, and 1 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. We want to slowly lower the right leg. So we're not just letting it fall onto the floor. We are controlling it all the way down. Use your abdominal muscles to control the lowering. Go slow. When you get to the bottom, both arms up and over, big stretch, big stretch, big stretch. You can point and flex your feet or flex and release your fingers if you want to. You can circle your wrists and circle your ankles if you want. Or you can just do a basic stretch, a simple stretch. Fingertips pointing far away, toes pointing far away. And then exhale, bring the left knee to chest. Interlace hands, hang onto the left knee or the left shin. And the right foot is flexed here. So toes up, actually both feet, flex both feet. And hold, pull the left knee to chest. Hold here. And then extend the left foot up toward the sky. Move the hands, wrap the hands around the back of the left thigh and just hold. So this left leg extended up like this, we're stretching the back of the leg here. Some of you may be able to grab calves. Some may be able to grab big toe. Your choice. It's all the same. This is a stretch for the back of the legs. Exhale, lift your head towards your left knee. Inhale down, 2 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. And 1 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. And then release the left leg. Again, lowering as slow as you can. Take your time. Use your abdominal muscles to control the left leg coming down. It's like you're moving through honey. Slow, slow, slow. When you get to the bottom, another stretch. Arms up. Inhale, big stretch. And then exhale, bring both knees to chest. Hang on, one hand, corresponding knee. Hang on. Just hold this. What is this? Anyway, knee to chest for now. Hold here and breathe. We're now going to rock side to side. So this is a beautiful massage for the low back. Again, it's all about the low back. If you go more to each side, you bring in massaging the fleshy part of the hips. Okay, so I'm bringing the outside of my legs all the way to the floor when I go from one side to the other, so that I'm massaging my back, but also the hip, not really the joint, it's kind of the joint, but it's more of the flesh, the muscle of the hips. And just see how that feels. Notice the contact of you with the floor as you go side to side. Pay attention to that. Keeps our awareness on what we're doing. And we'll go to the other side one more time. When you get, I'm gonna be on my left side, but whatever side you get to, allow both legs to stack one on top of the other, bent legs. I'll come to this side, so you can see. And we're gonna drop, for me, I'm dropping my opposite shoulder down toward the floor. So my knees are pointing to my right. I'm dropping my left shoulder down toward the floor. So if your knees are pointing to your left, try to lower your right shoulder to the floor. So this is a supine twist. It means we're on our back and we're doing a twist. So supine twist. If you want to add a little extra weight to the outside of the the left knee, you can touch your right hand to your left knee. Come back all the way to the other side. And we will do the same shape. This time, for me, the left hand is touching the outside of my right knee. Hold here and breathe. And then come back onto your back. We'll go into our final rest. So again, the options are traditional corpse pose. Traditional corpse pose, or you can do the feet flat, knees touching. So to adapt it for low back comfort, you can do side corpse pose, your favorite side, knees bent, or you can also do this part sitting up. So I want you to choose what's working best for you. And what the final resting part of each yoga class is for is that it helps us to assimilate all the energy that we've stirred up and place it, move it around the body in an equal way. Okay, so that's what corpse pose is. So in this pose, or at this time, our only job is to be still. That's all we have to do. So noticing your toes, noticing your legs, noticing your spine, fingers, arms, face, breath. Feeling the air on your skin, hearing any sounds around you, and tending to your breath. Next breath in, take a big stretch, arms overhead, stretch in a way that feels great. Next exhale, turn back onto one side, and then push yourself upright to sitting. So I want to thank everyone for coming to class today. Thank you so much. Drink more water than normal because we did some twisting. So I have a little extra water in throughout your day, and see if you can notice the effects of our yoga class throughout the day. You might feel that you're moving in a different way from the benefits of yoga.
See if you notice that. And again, if you don't notice it, it's no pressure. It's nothing wrong. It's just, it is what it is. I hate that expression, but if you don't feel any changes, it's okay. I'm leaving you with this. May you be happy. May your life have meaning. Thank you. And may you be an instrument of social change. Thank you for coming. I'll see you next Wednesday.